Bill,
All right.
might have to take over IT.
Okay, good morning. Today is September 18th, 2024. Time is now 9:01 a.m. I'm Kevin Day, Chair of the Custer County Board of Commissioners. I will call this meeting to order. If you would please silence your cell phones at this time. And if you would join us for the pledge and for the invocation. Do the pledge you are, sir.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please join me in prayer. Lord, I just thank you for this beautiful day that you've given us, for the snow that, sprinkling of snow we got on the mountaintops, and for all the moisture that we've gotten this year, to replenish our resource of water. Lord, I just ask that you'd give us wisdom and insight into what, the best decision for all the citizens that are involved. And I just ask that you bless the people of this county, and may they prosper in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you, sirs. Kelly, could we get a roll call, please?
Commissioner Day.
Present.
Commissioner Kanda.
Here.
Commissioner Epp.
Present.
And County Attorney Dan Slater.
Here.
And Clerk to the Board Kelly Camper present.
All right. And audience introductions.
James Gilbert.
Jim Chaplin.
And nobody extra online, so if you go to speak later, if you could identify yourself for the agenda, please. Any amendments to the agenda?
None from me.
None from me.
No minutes. Commissioner items, Commissioner Kanda.
Couple quick ones. Airport's moving along. We got the contract with going on with Rusty Caldwell Construction and Concrete, working on the pad out there. It's been activated, and he's working with Vince on hauling gravel out of the Boyer pit from. And so don't know how many loads it's going to take yet, but he's calculating them today, so we'll find out. He's coordinating that anyway. Also, good news, the private entity that wants to build the fence, the airport fence, wildlife fencing, fence them out. Fence is about an 8-foot fence or greater, keep the deer from jumping over and the antelope out from playing.
Do they, are they gonna be, and I know this is getting into the weeds of it, but are they gonna put the mounds so in case an animal gets in that it has a place to?
I don't know, that's something that when we do it, that contractor, I'm not sure what they did, but the private entity did the organization that's doing it, did a bid. They got a bid on several of them. It's gonna cost $450,000 that they're gonna donate. All they ask in return is they get to keep the T-posts, which, you know, all the T-posts from the fence, they have to take the fencing out, roll the wire up, get rid of it and stuff. And the T-posts, they estimate them with the weight of it and the price of steel and the price of T-posts. Some of them will be good, some of them won't be. Worth about $4,500. I think that's pretty fair trade. $4,500 for $450 is a pretty good deal. Unless you have any other options on that, I think that's a fair thing.
No, I think that's...
The other thing, I mentioned the concrete. Other than that, I'll think of something later, Kevin.
There you go. So, all right, Commissioner Epp.
Okay, I just want to go through the scheduled meetings. I think I made a mistake last week. So the 2nd will be here. The 9th will be a 75% budget, budget review, so that we can see, and we're mainly just gonna hit the departments that are real close to that 75% or over. I don't see that happening, but we'll see where we're at, just so, because we're into budget season now. The 16th will be down in Wetmore. That'll be our last one in Wetmore until next year. I had said the 23rd, that Wednesday. It's actually the 24th. So that'll be a Thursday, the 24th. That'll be back here. and then the 30th, will be here. So that's our schedule for upcoming meetings. Since AP was at the end of last week's meeting, I neglected to abstain from an AP voucher line. There was a check made out from the county, from Custer County Kids Council, to my wife, and I did not, abstain from that vote. So here's the check, Kevin. We're gonna turn the check back over, to you. I'd like you to give that to Jen, and then, that check should actually be made out to Lollipop instead of to my wife directly. So we're gonna correct those items, and that'll be in next week's AP run.
Should we ratify your abstention?
What?
I'm teasing.
Oh, no, let's not ratify the abstention. No. Let's just redo it next week. Let's make it right, so,
Okay. I will get this back to Jen then.
okay, thank you, sir. That's all I have at the moment. You good with that, Dan?
Sounds good to me. Kind of like how that works.
Okay, I'll catch you on those dates after the meeting. I got logged out. I was getting back in when you went through all of them, so.
Okay. And I'll resend you my text, Jim. And James, if you'd like me to text you the schedule, I can do that too. I only do that for my regulars.
Okay. A couple things here. Was able to sit in on part of the county health board meeting the other day. I zoomed in on it. 13.5% is what our insurance is going up.
I thought it was 11.
That's what I read, but I would go with what he said because he was
Okay.
actually there.
Okay.
Well, I will double check my numbers. I
Depends on
was
his
at
ears.
Florence Fire Department meeting last night and theirs went up 13% through CEBT. So that might be why that stuck in my brain here this morning and I didn't write a number down, so.
And this is health insurance?
Yes.
This is employee health insurance?
Yes.
Okay.
I know you were pretty much on top of that. And then, still, working, trying to get dates set up for that GA budget meeting. And I'll hit them with the new dates that we discussed earlier, a little later today and see if those work. Other than that, I think that's all I've got. Dan, do you have anything for us?
I do not.
Kelly?
Nope.
No unfinished business, new business, finance report.
Good morning.
I'll stand for you, but I won't shake hands.
Oh,
How's that?
you're a gentleman.
Better not shake his hand.
Thank you for being here.
Good morning, and I apologize for missing last week. I think I don't know what happened, but I had stuck in my head the third Wednesday of the month. instead
That's
of the second
okay.
Wednesday.
Because you didn't present, we stayed under 3 hours.
Oh,
So
okay.
It's maybe a good thing.
Okay,
We'll take the good.
so I'll report on what I'm doing. Last month and this month, I've been spending a lot of time looking at the payroll reports and doing reviews of those. There was an issue that we found last month in the insurance payments that I've posted adjustments for, and we're correcting that. It was an overpayment, so it'll be lower payments through the rest of the year to make up for that. And it was just a clerical error in the payroll report. And then I've also been reviewing the cash accounts and looking at Virginia's reconciliations to try to understand how that works between the county and the treasurer. So CIC has some weird little glitches, and I'm gonna sit down with her and watch her her cash reconciliation process this morning and see exactly what is pulling up and where that confusion is coming from. And then I've been working with Jen to get caught up on the payroll reports through 2024 so that those can get done timely for the third quarter of 2024. And we should be able to do that. And that's also included some glitches with CIC where it looks like they didn't pick up like the Medicare wages on one employee for a couple months, but not the other months. So it's weird little glitches like that we're getting straightened out. And then another thing that I've been doing every month is pulling up the general ledger detail. So I just pull up the detail of all the accounts, go through, do some analysis and look at kind of where the accounts are as compared to the prior year and where they should be as compared to the budget. And then looking at the GL detail to see if there are unusual items that should be reclassified or if there are errors that need to be adjusted. Then I've been putting those together and I've been assisting Vernon this week with putting those in the spreadsheet so that he can upload to CIC. He also got all of the adjusting journal entries that the auditor had, and so we were working together to put those in a spreadsheet and get those uploaded. Once the auditor's adjustments are uploaded, then we can reconcile this week to the audited financial statements, which is a big improvement over last year. Last year that happened in like May of this year, I think.
Yeah.
And then you'll have good beginning fund balance numbers to work with when you're looking at the budget. So you'll really have a solid idea of where you are to start for the year, I think, because we can use those fund balance numbers, project to the end of the year if everything's accurate this year, and have an idea of where you're starting next year better, I think. Let's see what else.
And Vernon hasn't gotten this to me, but I know that the adjusted journal entries that we got this year from the auditor was a stack, well, I mean, less than half the stack of papers that we adjusted journals that we did last year. So
Yeah,
have improved greatly with what our auditor has to have us move to fix our general ledger. So
I think it was far fewer. Last year, what they had that they didn't have this year was a lot of cutoff adjustments. So they didn't have to go through and do all of the adjustments for accounts payable at the end of the year. They only had a handful of entries for accounts receivable, so it wasn't the long adjustments for accounts receivable in every single fund. And then there were reclassifications for the leases. So you had all those lease adjustments this year. A lot of stuff that might have shown up in capital outlay or in some other kind of professional services ended up as principal and interest payments in accordance with those lease standards this year in your fund financial statements. So it was entries like that, so it wasn't too bad. And I did listen to Sam's presentation of the audit, and I thought he did a really good job explaining everything in detail, but not being too wonky. So,
yeah, 2 hours, that's about enough.
do you guys have any questions for me?
How's the credit card stuff going?
The credit card stuff, I've got a girl in my office who has been working on it diligently. It's very slow going still, but I think she's been through all of 2023 with the UMB statements. And most of 2023 with Kirkpatrick. I think she was missing one Kirkpatrick statement. And then we're moving backwards. We'll do 2022 next.
How many years we gotta go backwards?
How many years did you want us? Did you want us to go back to 21?
We need to go to the invention of
Credit card.
Kirkpatrick.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and I want to say that was June, July of 21, sometime mid-year,
20.
and maybe, I don't remember, but anyway.
No,
I thought it was 21, but
Could be.
as far back as we need to go, and then we need to find out. And then it's going through CIC and seeing where those payments are posted, right? And
Yeah.
which department made those posts, and then UMB, for the end of last year, when finance was just handing a card out to the different departments with the UMB before, we got Kirkpatrick stopped and UMB became our account, people were just taking a card, and whether those receipts all got turned in. So we're gonna have to do some deep
Find out
diving
what-
just
what
in
we're
that.
missing.
department and find out. There's about $12,000 that we've discovered was rolled over and didn't get paid by a specific department of one shape or another, so.
Yeah, the riskiest thing is having a card where everybody's borrowing the card and there's no accountability, so nobody has to bring back receipts or anything, you
Right,
just
you
run
don't
the card
know.
in, so you don't know who it belongs to.
Or what the really amount is.
Yeah, there's no log of, this is who checked out the card, this is
Yeah.
what they were doing, and when they come back, signed in and said, these are my receipts.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
We have any problems with that on UBB?
on UMB stuff.
UNB?
There are- It seems like some departments are better than others at turning in their receipts.
One thing I'm gonna start doing, and not to interject here necessarily, but I'm gonna start sending an email out the first Monday of every month and going, okay, the cycle has ended. You have until the Monday before the first AP of the month to get your UMB credit card statement voucher in to CIC, so we can pay it and we can get it overnighted to UMB. Because when UMB gets the payment, it's almost 2 weeks, 10 days later before it actually posts to our account. So
Right.
we have zero control over what UMB does once they have the payment. But what we can do is we can get it, we know that we have control over when we process it through AP and that we send it overnight and we can get it there and we can get it there on our time. We can do everything that we need to with our due diligence. So, cause our cycle's first of month to end of month.
You need to send it to the department heads, they're the ones that are accountable for their people on the card, make sure. that-
Right, no, it's gonna go to the department heads.
And then they need to be on top of it. Weekly, they can get something back
Yeah.
weekly from everybody,
Yeah.
just get the receipts logged or copy to send.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not that many receipts
No,
to have to upload to CIC.
No.
And the problem I found, like when I looked at the August and July statements, is sometimes you're going back, it's 2 or 3 months later that stuff's being paid. So like the March payment isn't being uploaded until July.
we picking up late payment.
no,
No, there's no late payment or interest on this one, so
Good.
you don't have that problem, but you do have a problem because you'll run into your credit limit because people have long outstanding balances, and if you don't get those paid, and it is,
That's true.
by the nature of a county, it's just that AP process is slow anyway. So if you're waiting on receipts for 2 months, then you probably have another month before it even gets paid.
and it's gonna be a little bit of a chore to monitor because the payments from say, the county clerk, that goes to, when that payment posts, it doesn't post to her account, it posts to the total. So you really have, so when we train up either the new BOCC admin or whoever's, we're gonna have just monitor that on a weekly basis. We're gonna have to do some training so they could realize, okay, this
Where to
came
go.
here, this came here, this is for this.
I did notice on a,
Or can you see it on
statement a
your?
couple months ago that my payment from, that I had, made the previous time was on there, and that's the first time it's shown up, but I really, when I made the payment, when I put it in CIC, I really outlined that it was for me and I used the last four of my card number, and I wondered if maybe that helped them to say,
Oh.
okay, it goes with this card,
Okay,
and so.
well, maybe we need to enact that then in our voucher system to, maybe it'll post to specific accounts then.
Yeah, because that was the first time I was very specific, and then it showed up on my next statement.
Okay,
I noticed that too, and it only, I've only seen it 2 or 3 different times looking at the credit card statements, and it must be
Yeah,
the detail.
we
that you
got
put
you,
in
put the
there.
detail on the voucher, okay. Well,
Yeah.
then we need to do that then.
Because if the credit card company can't identify it, they probably are just putting it to overall, this is the payment,
Okay,
yeah.
so.
yes,
So on credit cards, so Kevin will understand some of the things I'm gonna say is, what, in doing some work that I have to do, or I had to do with involving DHS, there was a question about credit cards, the credit card that would just for DHS was using, that I don't think they're using anymore
Correct.
And so I have those credit receipts. I
Okay,
asked Laura for those
okay,
because I had some questions and
Okay.
kind of related to what I was doing.
Okay.
So if it may, given you're talking about credit cards and stuff, maybe worthy having her go through those and I can explain that work along, and she can include that with all of their stuff, so.
so we need to go, so DHS hasn't been uploading their receipts, they've been putting them in a box, so they've been keeping them, so at least we have them. But we need somebody, we're gonna have to have DHS go back through and upload every single one of those to match the, so at least we have them electronic.
And those were on a separate card, weren't they?
Yep.
They're not in the UMB, it wasn't a UMB card.
It was not a UMB card, so that's been corrected now, they are on UMB's card. So-
And those were treated like a reimbursement then? Is that how
Yes.
those were?
Well, no, it was paid directly to the credit card. Those were not treated like a reimbursement.
So how did the expenses get up in the GL then?
Yeah, everything all the expenses
Okay.
got uploaded. It
It's
was
just
like,
the receipts aren't?
yeah,
all
receipts
uploaded.
aren't, so.
Okay.
I have last year and this year's, I think, is what I had Laura give me.
Yeah.
So I'll give those to you and then you can reach out to DHS for whatever else you need to do your work. So,
Okay,
I got a question for you.
Okay.
Is CIC working okay, from your point?
CIC, I think it's kind of intuitive to be able to use for a lot of things. I like the reports that it pulls up. And it, I'm able to transfer everything to Excel really easily and analyze it that way, but it does have some little glitchy problems. I'm not sure if it's worse than any other accounting software, but it is a
Have
little.
you ever used it before?
I haven't used it before and it was easy for me to pick up and figure out.
So I'm a little worried about it because, the maintenance, the company that used to be doesn't exist really, and it's a whole new thing, and we've been having problems, Bernie has said anyway, that, they take a while to get online and help us. But everybody's learning in the county, you're not having problems with people not understanding what you're wanting, right? What about this, what's JD's system called, the new stuff he wants?
GSA,
What's
GSA.
What's it stand for?
Government software,
Alliance?
something, yeah.
But that's what he says, 80% of the county.
Well,
are
but
doing something.
80% of
The
the.
county
Yes,
assessor,
That's what I mean,
Yeah.
assessors.
because I don't know that GSA is an accounting system as much as it is a system for the assessor's office.
Assessors primarily.
Yeah.
Possibly. I'm just a little worried about having split systems and maintaining them and getting people
Yeah.
to be able to crosstalk. I mean,
there'll be a little extra work, sounds like, between, the assessor and the treasurer. But the real interplay is between the treasurer and the finance department.
Right,
So if we changed, the treasurer would have to change, or if the treasurer needed to change because they weren't getting support, we would have to change. Those two need to definitely
guess,
stay in
right.
play
We have-
better than,
in my experience in all the jobs I've ever had throughout my career, is you don't want to have several systems talking over the same
No.
picture. That's a bad thing to have.
Yeah,
And so we gotta be careful. So I'm curious if the other counties have some other systems. CIC may not, who knows? I'm a little worried about its longevity, to tell you the truth, as a company.
no, I think you're right, and I think we need to, and Lisa and I talked about this the other day, let's flush out everything that we can flush out. Let's make sure that so much information got uploaded and then not maintained correctly throughout the last 3-4 years.
Yeah.
So let's make it all correct, let's flush it out, let's get it working as the best that we can get it to work. And then let's go, does this module work for us? Or can we get rid of enough modules maybe in the HR department to pull in Paychecks or ADP or NeoGov or a different company to take care of that portion of it? And does it make sense? And we just get down to, it's just our treasurer and our finance and the HR portion is pulled out? or what does that look like? And then go, what do we need to look at and what is it going to cost if we were to change someday?
That's right. That's kind of where I was headed to, is payroll. You know,
Yeah,
and so you keep busting it in pieces. We have an opportunity to go down the wrong path and
yeah.
make some mistakes. Okay.
Yeah, I think what I see a lot of other governments using is our Tyler products.
Yeah, that's what Texas does it, from what I understand.
Yeah, Tyler, and I think they have several different accounting products, and I see that at like towns, counties, and schools use Tyler, so.
So what is
But
our
it's
contract
expensive.
with CIC?
Year to year.
It's year to year, so we could swap it out if we wanted to at some point,
We could.
without paying penalties.
Yeah, right.
Something to think about.
But it's really expensive. New software is so expensive.
So are big mistakes. Worse.
And it is, I do agree with Commissioner Epp that it's a good idea to make sure everything's in place, everything's good in your accounting system, and that everybody knows what they're doing before you switch accounting systems. Because if you've got any kind of mess or people who don't understand their jobs and then you switch accounting systems,
Then maybe you
it
need
gets
more.
really
It's a
messy.
big spiral.
Yeah, nobody's able, if you have a lot of flux during that time when you're trying to pick up a new accounting system and nobody learns it correctly, you've got just as many problems
That's
as you
our
had
problem
before.
initially. We had a hard time getting
Yeah.
to train everybody here. It's tough.
Yeah,
And then you go ahead and you're transferring the problem, it's not necessarily the software, it's a lack of understanding.
We probably still have a lack of, we probably still need to do more training, initial training, and then annual training to refresh, so, because otherwise, sometimes you get, oh, it works this way, and it's a bad habit, and then you change the software function of that, and then that bad habit doesn't, or the way they just got used to doing it. It's kind of like uploading receipts. You have to open up the viewer before you start it's wonky, it's crazy, it's not, but
So that's
we learned the
interesting. How do we
nuances.
upload them today?
So
Is there
you-
a scanner? Do they just suck it in like, you see these
So you-
systems for home use, you know?
No, so you scan it, you put it in your computer, and then you
But
open
is
the
it
viewer.
an
and-
automatic feed on the site, the receipts, whether it's a small receipt or big ones, like some of these systems I've seen for your home computers? You know, how do we get them? You don't have to physically pick it up and put it on a screen and scan it, do you?
Yeah, you do.
You
Yeah.
can't feed it through us? Oh, really?
Not a small receipt, you can, I mean, you could if we buy everybody a little individual scanner, you could do
Well,
that, but.
or one county one somewhere, but that would be better than that. That's labor intensive and then make mistakes with it.
No, that's still what I do. I mean, if we wanted to go to a
I have a
Concur
neat-
Solutions or something like that, where everybody just takes a picture of it and it automatically uploads it, we could do that, but we're talking more
I'm talking
software.
about NEAT. There's an NEAT system that I've used before. You just feed it in any size and it does it. And it puts a report out. It actually catalogs it into different, you can have it go to different departments even.
We could, but I think
Pretty neat.
the majority of our receipts like that are for a credit card, and
They come in a,
you've got the landfill over here, you got recycle over here, you got these, so do you just have one scanner, or that's, I mean,
I don't know.
And it's no different me walking to this scanner or scanning it on my desk. I mean, you scan
No,
it.
on a big computer, I agree, Kelly, but I'm talking about small little side deals.
well, we can look at it.
I'll bring mine in, I'll show you.
Okay. Okay, yeah, no. I don't have a need.
I'm very neat.
Oh,
Okay.
I
Teach
do
me.
I have a scan snap and they are pretty sharp. They're just like a little
These
scanner.
little scanners, you can scan this in for a receipt,
Yeah. That's what those
any
little-
size receipt. Okay, just questions, thanks.
Okay,
Anything else?
any more questions?
Thank you, Lisa.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. Next item we have on our agenda is the Humane Society of Fremont County impound agreement.
We signed this last year, didn't
Yes.
we? Or at the beginning of this year,
Not,
maybe?
don't remember when.
It's usually at the end of
End of the
that.
year. We're getting ahead of it.
I
I
know,
like
it's
it,
weird.
love it.
Does she have a hard copy of that out here?
I do.
I had two.
So you had a neat.
Neat stays in the computer.
Oh, that doesn't spit it out, does it, from the computer?
I emailed it to you too,
Just recently or with the original?
Thursday.
Thursday.
Thursday?
Friday.
Okay, I can get that.
Can I have my copy back?
Yeah, take it back.
I'll scan it in my neat.
I would note, just for everyone's knowledge, that under the terms of the agreement, paragraph D, that the county shall pay a lump sum of $334.92 for the services performed by the society during 2025. We can either make it in a lump sum payment or 12 payments of $27.91.
I will make a motion that we approve this impound agreement
Name.
in the lump sum of $334.92. If
Flat
this
rate.
gets approved in 25's budget, because this has got to go through the budget process. The amount does.
I'll second it.
So I have a motion on the floor to approve the impound agreement with the Humane Society of Fremont County pending budgetary allowances.
I think paragraph D explains that it'll be taken on the first day of January, so that's in 25. So that's okay.
We need further discussion. Public comment.
It's pretty cheap, actually. I don't know how many dogs we end up getting down there.
Don't know. See no public comment. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. That motion carries. Pass those to Kelly.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have the ratification of the OEM agreement with Ellen Ganschow.
Elin.
Elin?
Do you have a copy of that? It's on your, but here's the one that.
Is that the one with the handwritten name change?
Yeah, she
Yeah.
changed it to.
Utmost Enterprises, doing business as.
yeah.
What is is it doing business as Music Meadows, yeah? I move we accept, what is this? Ratify the memorandum of understanding with Music Meadows Range.
I'll second.
Okay, so I have a motion on the floor to ratify the signature from September 11th on the Elin Ganschow,
Property usage, Music Meadows.
the memorandum of understanding. Any further discussion?
Nope. No, sir.
Public comment? Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion carries. You can have that back again.
Thank you.
And, next item would be, to open and read the bids for lot 8A, Block 1, Golden Arrow Valley. Subdivision.
Before you do that, Jim, you be quiet now, because if you extend this meeting any longer, we won't break a record of getting done before 20 minutes, or 40 minutes into it.
What are you talking about?
Both. I got two Jims back there.
No guarantees for me.
Okay.
All right, sir.
All right. I will open this semi-sealed bid. A bid, from Diane Hampton. I don't know if I wanna read the whole thing, but she's proposing a bid of $2,500, for the parcel. And she is purchasing the adjoining lot 7 from the current owners, Jennifer and Daniel Damitz, contingent upon obtaining this lot.
It's the only bid we had.
And this is the only bid that I was given, yes.
I move we accept her bid.
I'll second.
Okay, so I have a motion on the floor to accept the bid from Diane Hampton.
Hampton.
It's my ears because of the, yeah, plugged up. For lot 8A, block 1 in the Golden Arrow Valley subdivision. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion carries.
I see that, so.
Yeah.
Dan, if I put the deed and the resolution on next week's meeting, will you have that?
Yes, I can.
Okay, thanks.
Any additional items of business?
So I'll need that back before I leave.
I'll
just pass it around.
I don't believe so.
And for me.
Okay. I guess a quick note, cause you will not be present next Wednesday, correct?
Call in.
Call in.
I'll zoom.
And we might try to make sure we try to keep that agenda short to allow him to call in and not be stuck for a long time. Other than that, I've got nothing.
Yeah, all we have is APs right now.
Okay.
Do you want me to send you a copy of this?
I need a copy of it one way or the other. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. No further items of business, public comment. Mr. Gilbert.
I'll try to make this short, of course I have to, 5 minutes. Last week's meeting, in the discussion of the issue of the data breach, where because it's a case ongoing, there was no discussion about things because you couldn't discuss them. Couple of things. One is that there was a comment made about the nature of the restraining order. That comment was made by the sheriff. I didn't comment at that time because I had no idea what he was talking about or anything. I have since been able to read that restraining order. In reading that restraining order, it is involving basic First Amendment issues with freedom of the press. I do not consider that frivolous, and I think the record should reflect that that is not a frivolous restraining order. It's a basic constitutional issue. How that turns out, we won't know. It's been put off until October, but, and the second thing is that because of that whole case issue and the information that is dripping out, both from this board and from agencies within the county, once again, we have an erosion of the confidence of the system of elections. The controller of our election systems understands and has stated that the Dominion optical scanning system used in the elections integrity is solid, and that should be reflected in the comments coming from all official agencies to maintain confidence in the voting systems. I do not think it is a good thing for a commissioner to say that we don't know about the state of the systems when the election systems controller knows that. And these types of comments are being amplified and extended and distorted and utilized by publications in the county, which serves no purpose but to ramp up the mistrust. And mistrust in a voting system is a method of voting suppression. So once again, I would suggest that this board should unite in its support of the integrity of the voting system that exists in the county, and furthermore in the state. The whole state is under virtually the same thing. So I just wanted to get that on the record. I think it's unfortunate that the sheriff considers a restraining order against him frivolous, and that's it.
Thank you, sir. Time to spare.
I got that done.
All right. Looking online, seeing nothing online. That being the case, this meeting will be adjourned at 9:43 a.m.
Great.
Well, I hope you guys didn't screw up my car being ready.